Hello and welcome to day 3 of the Olympic Oval finale. First up this morning, it's the second men's 500 meter of the competition. In the first pair, Mikkel Mulder from the Netherlands and An A. Liu from China. We have some great racing coming up this morning. Men's 500s will run until around 11:30. That will be followed by the men's 1,000 meter at noon, and then the ladies' 1,000 meter. Clean start for both skaters. It looks like Liu has the lead. His opening time, 9:71, 9:86 for Mulder. Liu on the outer lane with a good opener as he tries to chase down Mikkel Mulder on that backstretch. And they are neck and neck down the home stretch. Mulder pulling away his final time, 34:85, 35:05 for Liu. In our second pair, we have An B. Liu from China and Harry Levo from Finland. Expect another fast race here. And then away, NB got a good jump on that gun as they're down through their first 100 meters. It looks like Levo will take the opener, 9:7, 9:8 for Liu. Skaters racing 500 meters. That's one lap plus a straightaway as they're into the final corner now. Harry Levo will win this race as he comes down the line. His final time, 34:94, 35:36 for NB Liu. Up next, Sword de Vries from the Netherlands in the inner lane, and Zhu Feng Sun from China in the outer. Clean start for de Vries and Sun. De Vries through 100 meters. His opening split, 9:8, 10:0 for Sun. Both skaters looking strong and powerful on that backstretch as they enter the last corner. Sun having to put a hand down a couple times, and he just can't hold that corner. Luckily, Sword de Vries was ahead of him, 34:81 final time for de Vries. That slots him into first, 35:75 for Sun. Up next, in the inner lane from China, it's Tao Yang. He's paired with Christopher Fiola from Quebec. And they're off. Chris Fiola, junior skater last year, competed at Junior Worlds. 9:8 his opener, 9:9 for Tao. As they're into the last corner now, Chris Fiola in the inner lane will hold his lead as he swings in front of Tao. And he'll finish the race. His final time, 34.95, 35.17 for Yang Tao. Two Canadians in our next pair. Richard McLennan from Ontario in the inner lane. Cooper Hunter from Alberta in the outer. Both skaters wearing national team skin suits. And a false start. It looks like that was Richard McLennan in the inner lane. Yes, the white flag is up. So our first attempt at a clean start on pair 5 resulted in a false start by Richard McLennan. Both skaters have to be careful now. The next false start means they will be disqualified. As they try to refocus a second time. And Richard McLennan may be wisely delaying his start to make sure that he did not false start. Cooper Hunter tripping as he comes down across the line. Richard McLennan's opener, 9.84. Cooper Hunter falling a few meters before the finish line, still open with a 10-0. He's back on his feet and skating away. As McLennan skating on his own now, down the home stretch. Final time, 35.23. Dan Carruthers checking the ice there, pointing to our oval ice technician. So we will have a slight delay now for an ice repair. The technicians here at the Olympic Oval, among the best in the world. The ice here is the fastest ice in the world. These guys know what they're doing. They're actually often brought into other events to work on the ice. Some oval techs have gone and worked for the NHL for their outdoor classics. They're currently working with the ice crews in Gangneung, Korea, trying to get their oval ready for the Olympic Games in Pyeongchang next season. It looks like Cooper Hunter towed in hard on that opening stretch. They seem to be patching 3 or 4 big holes. As we wait the return of racing, in the next pair, we will see Henrik F. Ruke from Norway and Hong Kiang Chan from China. They'll be followed by Jordan Henkelman from Alberta and Jacob McKenzie. Those will be pairs 6 and 7, so 5 pairs down so far this morning in the men's 500 meter. 83 pairs total of men racing this 500 meter. We have a long morning ahead of us. 2 Zamboni floods right in the middle of the pairs. First flood will come after pair 27. Ruke and Zhang, a tough task ahead of them here. They've been standing on that line without their warm-up jackets for a few minutes now. It looks like we are about ready to go for pair 6 of the men's 500. Ruke and Hyung Kang. And they're underway. The skaters racing down this first 100 meters. It's tight, but it looks like Ruke is going to take the opener. 9-9, 10-1 for Hyung Kang. So they cross over in the backstretch. Every skater must exchange lanes on every backstretch. The 500 meter, they do that once. One inner corner, one outer corner. As Henrik F. Ruke is going to take this race, his final time, 35:53, 35:96 for Hyung Kang. Up next, Jordan Henkelman and Jacob McKenzie. Two ex-short trackers in this race. Jacob McKenzie switching over to long track this season. Henkelman around 2 years ago. As these skaters try to stay warm here, moving their legs before the line. McKenzie yesterday skated a 35:59. Henkelman 35:85. See if they can beat it this morning. And they're underway after a long hold at the line from the starter. Henkelman got a good jump. He will lead the way through 100. Opening splits 9-8 and 10-1. Both skaters have great corners coming from short track speed skating. Strong, dynamic skaters. McKenzie in that inner lane, accelerating out of that inner corner. Not something you see every day with these fast guys in the 500. And he will win this race. 35:26, his final time. 35:96 for Henkelman. A quick race for Jacob McKenzie. This is Joost Born from the Netherlands, racing Jacob Graham from BC. And a false start. I'm not sure who that was. Inner lane, so Joost Born with a slight false start. It almost doesn't matter because the next false start, be it McKenzie, be it Graham or Bourne, will be a disqualification. these guys will line up to try again. Bourne wears a glove on his right hand. You see that's for that down start. Underway cleanly this time. And it's close through 100 meters. Oh, and Bourne almost goes down in the inner lane. 10 flat his opener, 10.01 for Graham. But Bourne will have had to re-accelerate in that corner, so Graham down that backstretch was hunting him down. Graham struggling to hold his corner. Both skaters almost falling in this race, and it's close at 500. Bourne will take it 35.8, 35.93 for Jacob Graham. This is pair 9, Thies Roosen from the Netherlands, and Odin by Farstad from Norway. And it looks like we will have another brief delay for ice repair. Nope, it looks like we are ready to go again. So they inspected the ice, found no ruts, deemed it safe, and now we're ready to go. Thies Roosen and Odin by Farstad. Clean start for both skaters. It's tight through 100. Opening splits, 10-1 for both skaters. Anyone's race at this point, 400 to go. As by Farstad had a good outer corner, and he used the draft on that backstretch. But Thies Roosen on this outer, these skaters skating good outers, struggling to hold the inners as they come to the finish line, kicking 35.77 for by Farstad. Roosen 35.82. Close race. Up next, our 10th pair. This is Jérôme Detunk in the inner lane. Looks like he is racing solo. Christian Oberschler from Switzerland. A scratch, although it looks like he might just be late to the line. Actually, it looks like he was sent away for not having the right equipment. Or he was too late to the start. Detunk starting on his own, down the first 100 meters. His opening split, 9.8. That's a quick opener for Jérôme Detunk. See if he can put together a good lap as well. Crossing over to the outer lane, Jérôme Detunk. He's looking strong coming out of that corner. Down the final stretch, Jérôme Detunk's final time, 35.89. Up next, the Battle of Ontario. Martin Corbett in the inner lane, Dan Carruthers in the outer lane. Dan Carruthers has a faster start than Martin Corbett, and he's on the outer lane, so this might make for an interesting backstretch. Corbett will have to hustle as they're off. Carruthers taking a slight lead. Corbett's keeping pace though. Carruthers opening split, 10-1, 10-2 for Martin Corbett. As they come out of the corner, crossing over. Skaters trying to stay low into the final corner. Carruthers swinging wide. They avoided a conflict as they come to the line. Kicking his final time, 36.03 for Dan Carruthers. Corbett, 36.18. Up next, we have Damien Zurich from Poland in the inner lane. Daniel Dubreuil from Quebec in the outer. And they're underway. Opening splits. 10-2 for Zurich. Dubreuil, 10-3. Daniel Dubreuil, a middle distance specialist. 500's just a little too short for him. As they're now on the final stretch, Zurich is leading the way. He will take this race. His final time, 36.11, 36.26 for Dubreuil. As we move on to pair 13, this is Thies Govers from the Netherlands and Konrad Nagy from Hungary. And they're underway. Govers with a slight slip at the line. But he recovered nicely, and he's going to win the opener. His opening split, 10-2, 10-4 for Nagy. Skaters coming from all over the world to race here at the finale. And they're in the final corner, neck and neck down the backstretch, or down the home stretch. This is Thies Govers who's going to take the race. 35.99, 36.22 for Nagy. Coming to the line is our next pair, Kyle Ronchak from the United States in the inner lane, Haolun Li from China in the outer. Kyle Ronchak with an interesting starting position. Underway now, clean start for both skaters. Through 100, it's Haolun with the lead, 10-0, 10-1 for Ronchak. As they move on to the backstretch, Ronchak looking nice and low into the final corner. And Ronchak still leading with 50 meters to go. His final time, 36.03, 36.24 for Haolun Li. As we have a look at our 15th pair, Ben Donnelly from Ontario in the inner lane, Cornelius Kirsten from Great Britain in the outer. Ben Donnelly, who skated a 5K personal best yesterday, low 6:20 time. So he has the endurance legs. Let's see if he's got the sprint legs here this weekend. Kirsten leads the way through 100. 10-2 his opener. 10-3 for Donnelly. Donnelly, last year's World Junior champion. As they're into the final corner now, expect Ben Donnelly in this outer lane to start to catch his pair, they come down the home stretch, the long strides, Donnelly will just miss winning the race. Kirsten took it 36.49, 36.54 for Ben Donnelly. Up next, we have an American in the inner lane, Brett Perry. He's racing a Québécois in the outer, David Larue. David Larue, who raced his first long track races in January this year, has had a great year, qualified and raced at the World Juniors in Finland. Larue with the quick opener, his opening time, 10:17. Sorry, Brett Perry tying him through 100 as they move on to the back stretch. So 10:1 openers for both skaters. In the final corner now, it's Larue and Perry neck and neck as they kick the line. 36.07 for Brett Perry. David Larue 36.12. So Brett Perry squeaking out the win at the end. Two Canadian skaters in our next race. Antoine Gélinas-Beaulieu in the inner lane and Braden Cloutier in the outer. As the starter calls them to the line. And they're underway. Clean start. Cloutier with a big lead through 100. His opening split, 10-1, 10-4 for Gélinas-Beaulieu. Cloutier setting himself up for a big draft on this backstretch. As he comes out of the corner right behind him, chasing his pair down. Gélinas-Beaulieu, though, having a good last corner. This might be an interesting finish. As Beaulieu has come ahead down the last stretch, his final time, 36.43, 36.59 for Cloutier. So Gélinas-Beaulieu with a quick lap, 25.6. You're looking at our next pair on the line here, Jeff Ross from Alberta in the inner lane. Sun Zin from China in the outer. We have a false start. Looks like that was Jeff Ross in the inner lane. Jeff Ross jumping the gun. Skaters got a couple good strides in though, so they're about halfway down the straightaway. And they have to quickly stop and turn around. Jeff Ross apologizing to the starter first on false starting. Most skaters don't do that. Second attempt is good as these two are underway safely and cleanly. Jeff Ross leading the way. His opening split 10-0, 10-4 for Sun Zin. So Sun Zin has some ground to make up here. Sun Zin's time yesterday, 36.52. See if he can improve upon that. Jeff Ross was just behind him, 36.52 as well. As they come to the final, Sun Zin will win this race, 36.45. 36.56 for Jeff Ross. Both skaters right on pace with their times from yesterday. In our next pair, we have Oliver Grob from Switzerland in the inner lane and Jess Neufeld from Manitoba in the outer. Jess Neufeld wearing a Finnish suit. Looking sharp in the blue and white. As Grob will take the opener. 10-1 his opening split. 10-4 for Neufeld. As the skaters cross over on the backstretch into the final corner. Grob still leading as Jess Neufeld almost goes down. He recovered though. He lost a bit of speed. Oliver Grob will win this one handily. 36-53, 37-01 for Neufeld. We are now on to our 20th pair. 27 pairs total before we race the Zambonis. So 6 pairs, 9 pairs to go. This is Yalet Zorigbatar from Mongolia in the inner lane and Sander Mikkelsen from Norway in the outer. Good start for both skaters. The bell goes. They have 1 lap to go. Opening splits. Mikkelsen 9-9. 10-2 for Zorigbatar. That's a quick opener for Sander Mikkelsen. Mikkelsen, a young athlete, as they move into this last corner. Zorigbatar is coming hard around the outer, though. And he has come around and will win the race. Yalet Zorigbatar, 36-59, 37-11 for Sander Mikkelsen. Up next, Jin Yanan from China and Chen Mingsu. Two skaters from China in this 21st pair. They're underway. Jin Yanan yesterday skated a 36.68, and he leads the way through the first 100 meters. 10-2 as opener, 10-5 for Yansu. Yansu at a 36.91. So both skaters looking to improve their times from yesterday. And it's Jin Yanan who will take this one. 36.2. 36.56 for Chen Yingsu. So both skaters improving yesterday's races. Interesting race up next. This is Jake Weidman in the inner lane and Cale Hillis in the outer. Jake Weidman, the younger brother of Isabel Weidman, having a very good season. Cale Hillis moving over from short track. Hillis took the opener, 10-2. 10-4 for is Weidman's opening split. Cale Hillis setting himself up for a nice draft behind the tall Jake Weidman as they move on down the backstretch. Hillis in this last inner uses his short track skills to come out of that corner with lots of speed, but Weidman's catching up. Final times. Hillis takes it 36.58, 36.70 for Weidman. Up next, Marcel Bosker from the Netherlands and Stephen Killari from India. Yalet Zarigbatar just skated a Mongolian record in the 500 meter. Stephen Killari and Marcel Bosker tight through the first 100 meters. 10-3 openers for both skaters. So they cross over on the backstretch. And they come out of this corner. It is Bosker who's going to win it. 36:39, his final time. 36:80 for Stephen Killari. As we have a look at pair 24, Magna Notland from Norway in the inner lane. Zhang Chuang from China in the outer. Clean start for both skaters. Through 100 meters, it's a tight race. Notland leading 10-2, 10-3 for Chuang. Magna Notland, who is from Norway but trains and lives here in Calgary. Skating with Todd McClements in the oval program. Now on the final stretch, Notland will win this one. His final time, 36:67, 36:84 for Chuang. We now have 3 pairs remaining before we take a break to flood the ice. This is pair 25, Tyler Kane from the United States and Cody Miller from Alberta. And a false start. I don't know who that was. That was a close call. Looks like it was in the inner lane. So Tyler Kane false starting in the second 500 meter. The skaters will regroup to go again. Kane and Miller. Cody Miller yesterday skated, or on Thursday skated 37:12. I bet he's looking to beat that 37-second barrier. Clean start the second try. As Miller's having a big slip on that opening 100. 10-4 for Kane. Miller after the slip, 10-6. That might cost him in his final time, as Kane with a big lead into that last corner. Miller trying to hold the corner on the inner lane. Tyler Kane will win this race handily. His final time, 36:94, 38:71 for Miller. This is pair 26. Kevin Mercanton from Sweden in the inner lane, and Keegan Christ from Saskatchewan in the outer. Keegan Christ, National Development Team skater in short track. Deciding to race finale here. Clean start underway. This is Mercanton and Christ. Mercanton opening split 10-1, 10-4 for Christ. Christ will try to build these corners, use his short track legs. You notice their contrast in styles on the straightaways. Chris, coming from short track, does not have the same long strides Kevin Mercanton, the long track skater, has. As Mercanton will win this race, his final time 36.56, 37.02 for Chris. As we look at our last pair before an ice flood, this is JC Latai from Alberta in the inner lane. Although it looks like the officials will inspect the ice, make sure that there is no repair that has to be done. And so right before our final pair before the flood, we have a delay for ice repair. So JC Latai has to stand around, try and stay warm. So we are waiting for some ice repair here before our final pair before the flood. So far, fastest time of the morning was set by Sword de Vries with a 34.81. Mikkel Mulder right behind him, 34.85. Harry Levo from Finland rounded off the top three, 34.94. Fastest Canadian this morning was Christopher Fiola in fourth, right behind Harry Levo. His time, 34.95. Richard McLennan and Jacob McKenzie were the next two fastest Canadians. As our ice crews continue to patch the ice, not only is this the finale competition, this is also Canada Cup number 4, important rankings competition for Canadian athletes. So pay attention to the order of the Canadian skaters. It will make a difference for them in the end with their final Canadian rankings. And it looks like we are ready to welcome back to the ice JC Latai, ready to go for his solo 500 race. And after the long delay, JC Latai false starting on his own in this final pair. So JC Latai has to regroup and go again. He is racing around 5 minutes after he thought he would. Lining up on the line again. JC Latai ready for a second try. And he is underway now. Down the first 50 meters, JC Latai looking strong on this opener. His 100-meter split, 10.5. Latai starting in the inner lane. White Arm Men will move to the outer to finish this race. Trying to stay low and keep his feet moving on this backstretch. As Latai now in the final corner. The last skater before the flood, JC Latai, will finish with a final time of 37:31. And so that wraps up our first group of men's 500. Stay tuned for more pairs. We will return at 9:58 with more racing. That's 9:58 Mountain Time. Remember to tweet at the Olympic Oval. You could win some free swag.
And some Peter's driving today.